Hi, my name's Marie and I work at Yorkshire Wildlife Trust. One of the questions that we get asked quite a lot is how do you tell the difference between a weed and a wildflower? So I'm out in my garden and I thought it would be a great chance for us to go and have a look around at some of the plants that have made a home here and for us to find out what's weed or wildflower. Let's go and take a look. Here is my front garden. As you can see, it's a little lawn and also lots of lovely plants around the borders and a few bigger shrubs as well. So there are things that I have planted purposely for the benefit of wildlife, for bees, butterflies and other beneficial insects and the birds too. But there's also plants that have taken a hold themselves, and some might call these weeds. So I'd like to just go and show you some of these in a bit more detail and we can work out whether it's wildflower or weed. So we can see there's lots of things that I've planted purposefully in my garden for the benefit of wildlife, but there are some things in my borders and within the lawn that I have just let come and grow by themselves. So let's go and have a look at some of those things and work out if it's weed or wildflower. In among my lawn I've got some dandelions, and as you can see it's just been visited by a lovely hoverfly, so that just goes to show how amazing and wonderful these plants are. A definite weedy winner and one to leave if you've got space to let some of your lawn grow, and especially when you don't have many plants in your borders that are going to provide food for bees and other pollinating insects. So what is the difference between a weed and a wildflower? Well, a weed is something that you just don't want in your garden. It's an unwelcome plant and it could potentially outcompete the plants that you have planted there. And then a wildflower is something that is a native species and it grows in its own natural habitat. But both weed and wildflower can be welcomed into our garden, which will benefit both us and wildlife, bringing lovely food for all of our bees, butterflies and other visiting pollinators, and also providing a wealth of colour, fragrance and enjoyment for us. Another plant that has taken up residence of its own accord in my garden, but it's welcome, is Herb Roberts. So these lovely little pink flowers, it's part of the geranium family and is also really beneficial for bees, hoverflies and other insects such as the barred carpet moth. So not a weed in my book, or a weedy winner, whichever way you want to look at it. Here we have some creeping buttercup, and there's lots of these in my lawn and they do find their way into my borders, so I do manage them, but they are welcome in my garden because they bring amazing gorgeous golden splashes of colour onto the lawn, and also a very nice food source for bees and other pollinators. So there's definitely some weedy winners out there, and hopefully the plants that I've shown you in my garden will help you to know which ones you'd like to welcome into your garden for the benefit of wildlife.